Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Studio Jake. I, of course, am your host, Jacob Airy. Thank you so much for joining me today on my vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture, from film to television to anime, celebrity news, and so much more. Please be sure to like this video, leave me a comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscriptions, and I am at 850, so any and all clicks of that subscribe button really help me out. Thank you so much. All right. So, I have one of the things that I've been doing is documenting the Alec Baldwin case, where, for those of you who don't remember, Alec Baldwin, he was on the set of a Western he is shooting where um, a gun that was a live gun, but it supposedly was supposed to be filled with blanks. It had a real bullet in it, and he killed one of the cinematographers and wounded the director of the film when the gun went off when he was engaging in very dangerous uh, play with the gun. He, of course, is blaming everyone under the sun, refusing to take responsibility, typical celebrity. And what's worse is the Arizona DA refuses to charge him. Now, if it had been me or you, we would be under the jail already. We wouldn't even get any of the stats. He was allowed to drive and fly all over the country. I think he only had to appear in court once. And he basically took advantage of his victim's husband and his grief and got him to settle because the husband had sued him and is suing the production as well. And now, because there are other crew members who are suing, he is trying to get a stay on their suit. So this is from NBC Los Angeles. Curious that this is not a Phoenix-based or a Arizona-based media outlet, but whatever. It says Alec Baldwin is seeking a stay of a lawsuit brought against him and other Rust film crew members by the chief lighting technician for the movie because the actor wants to make sure no further criminal allegations are brought against him before the civil case moves forward. Sergei Sivimoy claimed in his original Los Angeles Superior Court suit filed in November 2021 that the fatal shooting on the film set was caused by the negligent acts and omissions of the multiple defendants in his suit. Alec Baldwin is the prime person who was negligent. He is the one who had the gun and pulled the trigger. Let's make that absolutely clear. All right, continuing on. In an amended complaint brought April 26, Savoytnoy, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, added causes of action for assault and intentional infliction of emotional distress against the 65-year-old Baldwin only, but in court papers filed Thursday with Judge Maurice Leiter in advance of a scheduled September 5th hearing on the motion. Baldwin's attorneys maintain Savoy's case should not move forward unless and until New Mexico prosecutors decide they will not refile a criminal case against him. Baldwin and the film's armorer Hannah Gutierrez Reed, who was previously charged along with 2 alternative counts of involuntary manslaughter in the October 21st, 2001 shooting of cinematographer Helena Hutchins with a bullet fired by the actor-producer from a prop weapon. Although charges were later dropped against Baldwin, they were done so without prejudice, meaning they could be refiled later, and prosecutors said the investigation was active and ongoing. The only reason for that was so that the prosecutors in New Mexico could cover their bases. It is absolutely silly that this man is not in jail, or at least in the courtroom. Now, I think he should have his day in court. I think he should have the best defense attorney that he can afford, and perhaps even not afford. That being said, if it was you or me, he has admitted guilt. Although he denies that he was responsible, even though he was the one who held the gun, he's denying that he pulled the trigger. Everyone knows that's bull crap. That's been debunked by multiple firearms experts. There was no way for that gun to go off without pulling back the hammer and pulling the trigger. Absolutely preposterous. Even if it was an accidental fire, you have to pull the triggers of those guns. So I don't want to hear it from him. And this just goes to show you how the justice system really works in the United States. And yes, I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent here. Like I said, if it was you or me, we would already be under the jail. We would be smeared in the media. The mainstream press, the corporate press, whatever you want to call them, would be using us as an example to revoke the Second Amendment. It would be all over the place. But because Alec Baldwin is a Democrat mega donor, a Hollywood celebrity, he is going to get a pass. Not only that, his wife is kind of a racist. For all these people who want to talk about, oh, cultural appropriation, Alec Baldwin's wife literally pretended to be someone of Spanish origin when she is from the whitest neighborhood in Boston. And she did it again in an interview later where she tried to, do a fake Hispanic accent. I want you to know that, that is incredibly offensive, especially someone for me who's married to a Mexican. Absolutely, because she wasn't, doing it because she was like voicing a cartoon character. She was actively pretending to be this, like how Elizabeth Warren pretends to be Native American, or how George Santos pretends to be Jewish. It's absolutely ridiculous, absolutely preposterous, and but no, the corporate press, this is their buddy Alec Baldwin. He was on Saturday Night Live, remember? He was on 30 Rock, remember? He was Jack Ryan, remember? Yeah. He was in the Mission Impossible movies, and that's not an insult against Alec Baldwin's talent. He's a decent actor, he's a good actor, but in this particular case, the fact that he is not in jail and the fact that that movie is still going through production, it's absolutely mind-blowing to me. It is, and especially during a strike. I guess it's an indie. See, this is why I think these Hollywood strikes are bogus. When SAG went on strike, they still allowed for actors to be able to go into indie films. Yeah, so much for solidarity, right? Yeah, it's all about millionaires getting more millions. It's nothing to do with the little guys in SAG or WGA. They're going to get passed up in all this. They're going to get trampled on. That's because these unions are useless. We have labor laws now. Anyway, back to Alec Baldwin. It is absolutely galaxy brain that he is not going to have a day in court over this. And like I said, it's because he's a Democrat mega donor. It's because he's a high profile Hollywood celebrity. And it's just absolutely disgusting to me. This is a miscarriage of justice. And like I said, he should have his day in court. All the evidence should be presented, including his admission that he was the one holding the gun and he was the one who at least had it in his hand when it discharged, if you want to even take what he said at face value. Not to mention that media tour he went on where he where he made himself look even more guilty. And see, this is my thing sometimes with celebrities is they don't shut up because they're narcissists. They think everyone is going to love them no matter what. Boy, the advent of social media really ruined that for them, didn't it? But because of that, we get to see them in their naked narcissism, and it's like this with Alec Baldwin. The man is a raging narcissist. He couldn't even let Hutchinson, be have a proper burial before he was trying to make himself into the victim, before he was trying to make himself into the story, when it's all about her and the fact that now her child is going to not have a mother, that her husband is now a widower. It's all about Alec Baldwin and how he can get this dang movie that I guess he's helping produce make. That's all this is. And it is sad and it is pathetic and it is transparent that it is at this level. And, whatever the case may be, I hope New Mexico authorities change their minds. I hope they do pursue charges. And like I said, I want him to have his day in court. I don't want him to just be hauled in front of a drumhead trial where, a judge just declares him guilty. I want him to face a jury. I want him to have a good defense attorney. But I want him to have his day in court because there's no justice in this situation if that doesn't happen. There is no way that this was just a simple accident. There was a lot of complications involved. There were rumors of safety issues prior to this. Several crew members have come forward. They weren't getting paid. They weren't given water on set. A whole bunch of really bizarre out there stories, and it was all these little things that led to the tragic death of a woman in her prime. And I do think Alec Baldwin should face a judge and a jury for that. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up, that you'll leave me a comment, tell me what you think, that you'll share it out with your friends, and of course, consider subscribing to Studio Jake. I cover all kinds of nerd and pop culture topics, including film, television, anime, comic books, and so much more. I hope that you'll also head over to my main website, StudioJakeMedia.com, where I have even more news, views, and commentary. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, head over to my locals page. That's studiojakemedia.locals.com. It's the best way to support me. I'm trying to build a little community there. I have exclusive reviews and articles, so definitely head over there and check it out. And I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.